What if Deku had the Force? Part 1. Sorry, this isn't going to be a 30-minute video as I'm trying a new editing style. Hopefully this ends up going good to make the videos more enjoyable for you guys. Now, the story begins with Inko giving a nice and happy birth to a baby Izuku. Now, we time skip, but in between this time skip, Izuku always had a very happy and joyous life leading up to his eventual birthday for his 4th year. Now, when Izuku ends up going to the quirk doctor looks at him in a pitiful look and says, "Sorry, kid, you're quirkless." Izuku, all lot of the joy and happiness vanishes from Izuku's face as another look that appears to be anger appears right on Izuku. As almost naturally, Izuku lifts up his arm and in some type of curled motion with his fingers towards the quirk doctor lifts up as Izuku just stares at him with pure yellow eyes of hatred, as Izuku brings the quirk doctor closer and says, "Tell that again to my face, you scum," as Izuku slams the quirk doctor into a wall using this new telekinetic ability. Now, after this, Inko immediately rushed Izuku out of the hospital, fearing to have charges brought upon her by her 4-year-old son assaulting a doctor that is probably at least 4 times Izuku's age. Well, more like 10 times. But Izuku, now going home, smiles and says, "Mom, I'm gonna become the most powerful person on Earth to protect you." As Inko just smiles nervously at Izuku and says, "Okay, Izuku." From that day, Izuku continued to have dreams of people, some wearing black hoods and having red lightsabers, while others with the brown and light-colored hoods with the blue, green, and purple lightsabers. So Izuku decided to scavenge for the parts to build his own lightsaber, thinking that it was possible. So Izuku asked his mom to take him to the beach, as Izuku knew there was a lot of trash scattered around the beach. So Izuku dove into the trash pile and came out with multiple pieces of metal and different materials. Then Izuku used his ability, the Force, to lift the trash up, looking for something. All of a sudden, he points to a random spot and his finger lifts up as a crystal darts out of the trash right into Izuku's hand, which Izuku catches it. Izuku smiles down on the crystal and puts it into his lightsaber and ignites it. As Izuku waves it around, says, "Mom, look at this, I made a lightsaber." As Izuku is waving it around, and when his mom runs up to him and says, "No, Izuku, that's dangerous," Izuku gets scared and flicks the lightsaber up and jumps back as Inko lets out a scream of pure agony and pain. Izuku looked on with a horrified expression. He just cut off his mother's own arm. Izuku started crying and says, "Mom, I'm sorry, I won't do it again," as Inko just looks at her son in pure hatred and says, "No, Izuku, this is the last time. You're no longer my son," as she walks away and goes into her car and drives away. Izuku, with a horrified expression, just sits down and cries. He doesn't know what to do anymore. His mother just drove away without him, and she's gone. He has no mother now. She just disowned him as he cut off her arm. And then Izuku thinks, but how is she going to drive with one arm? And almost immediately after that, a screech is heard as a car goes flying off the railing and crashes into the pile of trash. Izuku rushes towards the car, but to see it's on fire. He ignites his lightsaber and creates a circle through the roof of the car and grabs his mother, or what used to be her, as he drags her out and puts her on the sand. As Izuku sees her burning body, as all of her hair just disappears from the flames, as Izuku looks on at her and says, "Mom, I'm sorry," as Izuku just says, "I hate you! You're not my son!" As she dies with those as her last words. Izuku decides to give her a burial in the sand, and so starts his hatred for sand, as every time he's near it, something just happens to go wrong. But it's where he found his lightsaber parts, so there's one good thing at least. So Izuku now had no home and no family. Once again, in one of my what-ifs, he's forced to live on his own. But he ends up finding an orphanage where he stays. He ends up going to school a year later, with Bakugo teasing him for not having any parents, as Izuku begins to grow his hatred. As each time he has a dream when he's going to sleep with a hateful emotion, he always hears a voice as it says, "Use your rage, Izuku. Use it. Strike down your enemies." But when he's going to sleep without any rage and just a calm, collected motion, he ends up seeing a bunch of cloaked figures that he thinks are known as Jedi. Now, Izuku continued to train, as all his life he wanted to become a hero and to grow more powerful to protect people. He knows he's going to find somebody he wants to protect. Even if he doesn't have anybody he wants to protect yet, he knows he's going to have to protect somebody. He doesn't know when, though. So Izuku continues to look around and train for he looks around for people to protect, but trains for that person. Now he continues to do this all up until he goes to the UA entrance exam. He never met All Might, as he walks a different route to the orphanage, so he never was able to see the sludge villain incident go down. Bakugo almost died but was put in a coma because of the sludge villain. Luckily, Bakugo was able to wake up in time for the entrance exam, so he also went. Now, Izuku sees a girl falling as he catches her using the force, says, "It's bad luck to fall on your first day at UA, isn't it?" She says, "Yeah, thanks. It's technically not our first day yet, as this is only an exam. But I do hope I'll have a second day, I suppose." As Izuku just smiles and says, "Yeah, I'd hope too." As Izuku walks away, thinking, "I think I finally found somebody I can protect. I think I finally found the person that I should protect." As Izuku smiles and once again walks away into the arena or auditorium, as he listens to President Mike explain the first exam, the written one, and does it. After that, President Mike explains the practical exam with all the robots. Izuku, thinking not much of it, continues to not listen, but when a weird, tall, blue-haired kid points him out, Izuku just scoffs and says, Hey Sonic, why don't you sit down already? He's gonna listen to your robotic voice as everyone in the auditorium starts laughing. After this, it's time for the practical exam. Everyone lines up and gets some sort of a tracksuit on. Izuku, however, doesn't do this. He puts on some type of black robe, which is basically, I think, the one on the screen, depending on how I'm editing this. But they're all just confused at what he's wearing. Izuku just doesn't mind their confusion and just gets down into a starting position. While some other kids just say, "Look at that nerd. At least we know we have one other kid not to worry about." As President Mike doesn't say anything, but the doors open. Izuku, sensing this, runs in and uses the force to bring tens of robots towards him as he whips out his green lightsaber, ignites it, and easily chops through them and very elegantly, leaving behind a pile of robot parts as they're just confused. How the hell is he so damn strong, and how is he so good with that weird weapon? As some kid, the same robot kid, runs up to him and says, "Hey kid, you know you're not allowed to use weapons here," as Izuku turns around and points it right at the strange kid and says, "Suggest you leave me alone, so you want to become just like those robots." As Izuku runs off, continuing to bring the robots towards him and easily slash through them, or just picking the robots up using the force and crumble them. Up in the teacher's lounge, all the teachers are shocked. How in the world is this kid so good with his quirk? It's almost as if he's a natural, a chosen one of sorts. And that's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy What If Deku Had the Force Part 1, and I hope you guys do enjoy this new editing style. Not sure how long it's going to take, so if it takes a long time, just suspect the videos to be maybe around 10 to 15 minutes long instead of 20 minutes. So I thank you all for watching once again, and goodbye.